Okay, I'm going to show you how to do your graph for the assignment for online module 5. So the first thing is to set up your spreadsheet like this. Here at the bottom, tab 1 is your graph, tab 2 is questions. Obviously question 1, answer, question 2, answer. You go through and just answer them that way. Back to the graph. First, have your week, percentage words read correctly per minute, your baseline goal, intervention 1, and go ahead and put intervention 2 in there as well. Let's go with your name. Let's say John for the student, grade, 2nd grade. Measure, you're going to do ORF, 2nd grade, so that's what we're reading fluency, 2nd grade. Your baseline, let's say his baseline was 32, and his goal is going to be, let's do 80. So in weeks, you would do weekly data points. So 9/1, 9/8, 9/15. You should start sometime in late August or September and then go all the way through sometime in May for end of the year here. So his goal was 80 and his baseline was 32. So there's his baseline and there's his goal in the same column. Oops. Actually, I should put that here rather than here. Fixed. Okay, so words, percentage words correctly, that's just accuracy. And you would keep this recorded across all interventions. So let's say intervention 1, you decide to use Wilson's. There it is right there, intervention 1, Wilson's. So you would start collecting data in intervention after the baseline here. Say the student gets 35, 38, 45, 48, 50. He's doing really well. 52 has a bad couple of days here. Then he goes right back up. How many data points is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's take that one out. I'm going to change that one just to kind of give you an idea of what it might look like. Okay, so you have your 8 data points. You need to make a decision. In order to make a decision, you have to graph it. So highlight all of these up to the baseline. Go up to charts, scatter, marked. You'll get a chart that looks something like this. The first thing you need to do is make it big enough so that you can make some decisions. These red dots here represent your baseline or goal. So you need to add a goal line, add trend line. Okay. Well, obviously you want to make that a little bigger and make it the same color as the data points. So let's do red and there. There's your goal line. Now this is intervention 1. You want to add your trend line. Again, you want to make it similar. It's green, but I would also recommend that you make it dashed so that you can tell that that is a trend line and this is a goal line. Now let's just assume for a second that this trend line was actually below the goal line and this one data point down here was pulling it down, and you want to see what happens if you take this data point out. Well, one way you could do that is to simply put your cursor over it. It says 1020, so go to 1020 here, remove that, and then that's what happens to your trend line. Of course, if you're keeping data for decision-making purposes, you want to see what happens when you remove that data point, but you always want to put that data point back in at the end of the day. So this is what I want to see in the graph, but I also want to see change lines. So you could go to symbol, shape rather, line. This is your baseline, so I want to see baseline vertical line here. And then this is where you're making your decision here in intervention 1. click on these boxes. Baseline. You can make this as fancy or as standard as you want. I just want to see that you have labeled them and that you know how to label them when you're showing these graphs to teachers or to parents or even to students. Sometimes it can also be helpful to label your goal line. Just it that way. So that there's no question about exactly where your goal line is. So your final graph should look something like this, but you'll also have your percentage words read correctly in there somewhere. So let's just say 90. I'm going to drag this all the way down to say the student did a really good job, did 90% the whole time. Again, you don't have to draw the trend line with these data. I just want to see them there so that you can kind of see the accuracy the student is having while they are completing these CBMs. So again, your goal line labeled, your data in intervention 1 with a trend line, baseline marked with a vertical line, intervention 1 marked with a vertical line. All of your data is here. You should also have a description of intervention 1 here. The questions should be answered here. Line 1 is obviously question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. That's it. Good luck. Hope to see your graph soon.